Alright, continuing with our medical gas series, how to schedule medical gas families in Revit. This is part 3. If you haven't watched part 1 or part 2, go back, watch them, and then come back. Long story short, we started creating a medical gas zone valve box, taught you how to modify it, taught you how to create a medical gas alarm panel, how to create a medical gas outlet, how to put it all together into piping medical gas systems, 2 little videos there. Then we tagged our families, and then in the last couple of videos, part 1 and part 2, we created these shared parameters to start populating our zone valve box schedules. And then on this video, we're going to use some of these parameters, but now we're going to schedule our alarm panels. Again, I remind you, please ignore the locations and flows that you see in this video series. These are just some examples that I came up so that you learn how to use families. But if you really want to learn about placing of medical gas devices and sizing of equipment and medical gases, you can scan the QR code that you see on the screen and we can get together. Let's get started. Hi everyone, this is Alex with BIMitUp, where we help you with professional training and coaching in mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection systems, and Autodesk platforms like Revit and AutoCAD MEP. Let's get started. And now we're going to do the medical gas alarm panel schedule. It's going to be very similar to the previous one. For each header, you have one parameter. And then again, we're going to get a little smarter later, but for now, it's just going to be text parameters. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to schedule our alarm panels. Last time we had added a parameter just for the tag, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add several other medical gas parameters, and for that I'm going to go to edit family, or actually I'm going to open my original family. And now let's go to the parameter scheduler in RF tools, and let's see from this list, which is the one from the MedGas zone valve boxes. I want to keep equipment location, equipment manufacturer, equipment model, equipment serving, equipment tag, equipment type. I'm not gonna add the MedGas alarm panel because this one was to report on the zone valve box family what MedGas alarm panel was monitoring. But I will add CO2, none of the flows, instrument air, medical vacuum, nitrogen, nitrous oxide, and oxygen. I'm gonna save this as a template. I'm going to call it AJS, P for plumbing, MedGas area alarm panel. Let's go ahead and apply parameters to family. Now let's fill this up. So this is what I want to schedule. Back to our family. Let's go to our parameters. And I could probably define a bunch of types. One of them having oxygen, medical air, medical vacuum. One of them having oxygen and medical vacuum only. One of them having oxygen, nitrogen, and nitrous oxide, etc. But again, the combinations are too many, so I don't think it's useful. So I'm going to keep this generic one. And all this we have to update now because what we had before was based on the zone valve box. So let me actually just delete all this. And now let's go to our cut sheet, and then here I can see the model number, which is gonna be this guy here. Let me see if I can select it from here. So that's the model number, and then you have to complete this based on which gases you're monitoring, right? So you can see here the X defines the type of gas. So I'm gonna do a couple of examples and then just leave it at that. One thing that I can change, I typically work here in the United States, so it's going to be English, so it's going to be a U for language. Equipment serving default, we're going to leave it blank. Equipment tag, we're going to have AAP dash and then X.X. And the equipment type is going to be area alarm panel. And then for the default on any of the medical gas, I'm going to leave them all blank intentionally, so you fill it up appropriately. But then what I want to do is add another parameter here. It's going to be a shared parameter. Let me see if I have it already. It will be the MedGas. See, when we did the zone valve box, we added this parameter because this was the one that was monitoring the zone valve box. Now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to take MedGas zone valve box, and that's going to be the zone valve box that we're going to be monitoring with our alarm panel. So let's add it, group it under plumbing, and I'm just going to organize those parameters so that they fall in the correct order that I want them in. Equipment description. Now let's save, and now we load into our project. Now let's take a first tab at the schedule. Let's go ahead and copy the zone valve box one. Alright, I had to do a little bit of housekeeping there. Let's open up our zone valve box schedule, and now we're filtering by the equipment type equaling zone valve box. So what I'm going to do is simply create a copy of this, but instead of zone valve box, this is going to be medical gas area alarm panel schedule. And then we're going to filter, instead of by zone valve box, by area alarm panel. Let's click OK. Seems like it's filtering very well. Now the model number we have to adjust, right, because we have a bunch of X's. So again, I think the easiest way to do this is go into the floor plan. And then one thing we need to fix right away is the tags, right? Because we had said that we were going to start with number 2 because this is the second floor. So let's go ahead and change that. So you can do that from the family, equipment tag, right? You can change to 2.4, or you can do it directly from the tag. And that would be reflected on your family. Remember, Revit is a database and you can input in different ways. So this would be 2.2 and this would be 2.1. Alright, so 2.1. What's 2.1 serving? 2.1 is serving zone valve box 2.1, and this has medical air, oxygen, and medical vacuum. Let's go back to the alarm panel 2.1. We click on it, and then we know, and then let's remember what the goal is. I'm going to bring in my snip to the other screen. What we want to do is, okay, how many alarm points are being monitored for each one of these gases? So an oxygen, air, and vacuum is going to be 111. And then the model number is going to contain oxygen, air, and vacuum. So let's go ahead and do that. So this guy has 1 point for oxygen, it has 1 point for medical air, and it has 1 point for medical vacuum. And it doesn't have anything else. So I'm going to fill this up with a bunch of dashes. Remember, these are text parameters, so that's no problem with formulas. And what's the equipment serving? The same rooms as the zone valve box. So ICUs 234 and 233. And then the equipment location is nurse 237. Okay, so we're done with this one. We have to change our equipment model number. And this one's going to be oxygen, air, and vacuum. So let's take a look at our schedule and see how we're doing. Okay, so this is 2.1, alarm panel, manufacturer, model number, then the 3 points that it's monitoring. Oh, and here we have to modify some things, right? Because originally this was for the zone valve box. So this was monitored by alarm panel such and such. In this case, we don't want that parameter. So let's go to our field, and the parameter that we want instead of MedGas alarm panel, we want to actually remove this one. And we want to add the zone valve box. We want to remove the sensor. We don't need that. We want to remove the ceiling sensor as well. Let's click OK and see what happens. And if you're enjoying this content, there are many ways you can support it. You can like or leave a nice comment down there. It really helps me out. You can subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. You can join our Patreon community in the link you see on the screen, which is also in the description. You can spread the word around, share it with your coworkers and in social media. And if you know any MEP firms that need help with BIM migration or any other topics, you can let them know so that I can help them. Right, so let's take a look. Our ID is okay. Equipment description is okay. Manufacturer is okay. Let's actually change this header under formatting. We want to have equipment description just as description. And let's keep it center like the rest of the things. So one more time, ID, description, manufacturer, model number, oxygen, medical air, medical vacuum, nitrogen, nitrous oxide, WAG-D. For WAG-D we have to fill this up with something. You have to make sure that this is an instance parameter. So let's edit the parameter, change it to instance, and then reload into our project. Make sure we save our family. Now let's go back. And now we have WAG-D here. So there we go. Go back to our schedule. Here we go. So we have all the alarm points that are being monitored. And actually, let's go ahead and combine these headers. Let's see if we can combine this. Where is it? This one here, see? So we can combine this, and then up here, we type alarm points. Now here we can change this header to monitoring zone valve box such and such. So let's go back to formatting, and then we go to AJS MedGas zone valve box, and here we want to have monitoring zone valve box, whatever it is, and I want to have the alignment centered. We can keep the rooms, area, equipment served the same, and location we can keep the same. And then this equipment type is just a filtering parameter, so let's go ahead and just hide it. Make this a hidden field. You might want to display the level, so let's keep the level, but let's change the formatting to capital letters. Just click OK. And then we're going to do the same thing for the zone valve box. So here, description, alignment center, manufacturer is good, model number is good, oxygen, medical air, medical vacuum. And these guys here, I want to group them under the same header. So if we go back to our zone valve box schedule, this is what we want to have, service and size. So let's go ahead and change that. So from here to here, group. And then this is going to say service and size. Alright, looking good. Let's go back to our alarm panel. Let's just close this. And these guys could probably be yes or no parameters as well. You know, you could check yes, no, but I think I want to keep number of alarm points, so in this case it's just 111. Alright, so what zone valve box is this monitoring? Well, the easiest way to do that is to come here and you just fill them up from here. So this is going to be zone valve box 2.1, and then there's something going on here because it's telling me that it will apply to all the elements of the type AAP, and I don't want that. I want this to be an instance parameter, not a type parameter. So let me cancel out of this. Let's go back to our family. And then here I want to make sure that this guy right here is an instance parameter. So edit, instance, okay, okay, load into project, overwrite, make sure we save it. And now here we can have zone valve box. Actually, let's do it from the schedule and go under zone valve box. The first one is going to be zone valve box 2.1. There you go. And now we don't get the warning because we can do them instance by instance. So let's fill this up since I'm here already. So this is 2.2. 2.3 and 2.4. Sometimes it's useful to have both of these schedules side by side, so you could have the zone valve box schedule here, and then you know that, for example, 2.2 has oxygen, air, and vacuum, and 2.3 has only oxygen and vacuum. So you can either split your screen or you can take this guy to the other screen, which is what I'm gonna do, and then that's gonna help me a ton. So 2.2, I know that 2.2 has oxygen, air, and vacuum. So 1, 1, 1, and then it doesn't have anything here, 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 or here. And which areas are being served by this? I know that it's 235 and 236. Actually, I can select it from here if I wanted to. And the location I'm going to do at the end, having the floor plan open. So 2.3, I know it has only oxygen and vacuum. So 1, 1, and then the rest is just dashes because it's not monitoring any other gases. The areas monitored are 224, 225, and 226. Can select it from here if I want. And then 2.4 is also monitoring oxygen, air, and vacuum, and nothing else. Rooms are 220, 221, and 222. Now let's go to the floor plan, and all those guys are in the same room actually. So let's come here, and then nurse 237, nurse 237, and nurse 237. Now let's go to our sheet and let's drop that schedule right underneath of our zone valve box schedule. Here it is, alarm panel. Drop it in here, and one thing I like to do is I bring it here, then I align it, this guy to this guy, and then it looks pretty neat. See, model number. See, as far as the model number, here we'll need a little bit more space. So one thing you could do is just extend this to here. And we're almost there, huh? Actually, this reminds me that we have the wrong numbers here. So all of them should be OAV, with the exception of 2.3, which is OV. So let's go back to the floor plan. So 2.3 is the only one that is OV, and all the others are OAV. There we go. Let's take one last look at this, extend this a little bit, and that's how you create your medical gas schedules.